Vishu, we have by now covered the 5 modifications of the mind: true knowledge, false knowledge, imagination, memory, and sleep. And
Right.
now we're moving into the 12th sutra, which explains, it starts to explain how can we have control over these things, right? Till now we understood the role that these 5 modifications play in our lives, in all our movements and thoughts and actions. And now we're going to start to understand how can we have control over them, and how do we control them instead of they will control us. So, so if we can just start with the 12th sutra and understand what is the name of the sutra and what does it mean exactly.
Patanjali in 12th sutra is describing Abhyasa Vairagyabhyam Tan Nirodha. The word Abhyasa means repeated practice. Vairagyabhyam means non-attachment. Tan Nirodha means to control them.
Right.
To control them means to the modifications of the mind.
Yes.
To control the modifications of the mind, we have Abhyasa, repeated practice, and non-attachment. These are the 2 pillars of yoga.
Yes.
On which yoga is standing. So whole yoga is based on these 2, which is repeated practice plus non-attachment.
Right. Yes.
Practice is repeated. It's required because the pattern of the modifications of mind, which is controlling us, it is developed through repetitions. For an example, we are controlled by our subconscious mind.
Yes.
Like our habits, we are very habitual, and we are very, the way we react to the world, the way we react to the situation, it's all conditioned.
Yes.
We can say it's all conditioned, and these conditions are our subconscious mind.
Right. Modern psychology, for example, is such a famous term, such a common term that you hear all the time. So what does it mean exactly, the subconscious mind?
Say, to not make it very complicated, simply understand subconscious mind is my past experiences, and based on this past experiences, my identity, that identity of I have, based on my past experiences, which is related to the external world.
Yes.
What I have perceived through my 5 senses. I perceive something through my 5 senses, through my awareness, and through repetition of this perceiving data, through repetition and through intensity of this data, my body absorbs it.
Yes.
So when it absorbs it, it stores it, it becomes a kind of memory. And that memory, that set of all my past experiences, identifies me, makes me a person, like what kind of person I am: a happy person, sad person, an intelligent, ugly, and all, and how I react to the life, to the situations. It's all part of it. It's all my subconscious mind.
Right. Okay. So it's repeated things that keep happening, and we absorb them, and then we form an idea in our mind about ourselves based on that.
Even modern psychology says that if you, like how a habit is developed, it takes certain cycles, like sometimes 21 days. If you repeat some certain actions, it can become your habit.
That's right. Yes.
Anything consciously through your awareness, if you repeat something again and again and again, it is absorbed by your body. For an example, driving of car. Like at the beginning, when you learn how to drive a car, you don't know, your body doesn't absorb it. So you use only your conscious mind to drive a car at the beginning. But you repeat this process again every day, morning, evening, you're going to market, you're going to place, and then by repetition, your body absorbs this driving. Now your conscious mind is doing something else, and your body is driving car. You don't even know you're changing gear, you're accelerating, you're giving brake, and like your body is doing it subconsciously.
Right. Yes.
It becomes a habit.
True.
So 90% what we are is our subconscious.
Right.
90% means we work mechanically, habitually.
Yes.
And this subconscious we have developed repeatedly. So when this is working repeatedly, it's like a machine is working.
Yes.
Like I am not there. There's no effort. There's no life into it. Like a program in a machine, it's working like that.
Yes.
So that's why it's required a repeated practice of breaking down this pattern, this conditioning, because conditioning is also developed by repetition, so they will be broken by repetition. We need to control this conditioning.
So that means what we are trying to break is this mechanical functioning. We don't want to function mechanically. And the patterns we are breaking is mechanical functioning from our subconscious mind.
Right. So that's why Patanjali say repeated practice and non-attachment. Non-attachment is an art in which I don't get affected by the external world. But
Right.
it looks like it means I am isolated from external world. No, I am not isolated. If I am non-attached with you, I'm not isolated, but I have a great compassion. I have a great care about you. But this care cannot change cannot control my modifications of the mind. My modifications of the mind are still in my control with great affection, care, and love. But what it is, we will further see in the next sutras.
Right. So, you mentioned this word compassion. There's a word that gets thrown around so much again in modern philosophies or any ideals, which is empathy. And we are made to believe, yes, so we believe that empathy, to be empathetic, is the way to live. But there's a difference between empathy and compassion.
A huge difference. They're totally different. When I am having empathy, it means I see a person in a misery, in problem, and then the problem of that person may be related to me. Maybe that person reflect my problems.
Yes.
Which had happened before, or the problems which I'm afraid not to happen with me, which is again a part of me.
Right.
So through that person, maybe it is reflected, and I'm just feeling a friendliness with that person. So I'm saying, giving sympathy to that person, and I'm feeling empathy. So there is no care in it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm using a words of care. I'm saying, oh, something bad happened with you. God will do something great for you. And if somebody is crying and I cry with that person together, it is empathy, all part of it. But compassion is entirely, totally different from it. Compassion means if I see a person in misery, in problem, I do all my effort to let this person come out of this misery.
Yes.
All possible effort.
Yes, because you are not identified with their misery. No part of you
You're not identified. Exactly.
Connecting with their misery. You just want them to have a good life, and that's it.
And that's it. And it means you are like an artist, like who knows how to work on it. Like I remember a story of Buddha. Buddha is all about compassion. Buddha will not give you a word of sympathy or empathy. He will do effort to solve your problem. The story is, once a woman lost her young son, and when he was died, the woman carry his dead body on her shoulder and saying, please make my son alive. He must not be died. I can't believe, I can't accept this. It's not true. My son is still okay. Please help. She's moving from one place to another, to the person to person. People saying, we cannot help you this. But there is a saint, there is a a highly consciousness person, a very great higher authority is there sitting under a tree, means Buddha. Maybe this person can help you. So the woman goes to the Buddha. When she goes to Buddha, she said that please help me to make my child be okay, but child was died already. She said, can you make him alive? Buddha said, yes, I can, but you have to do an effort for it. Can you get some grains for me? If you can give me some grain, I can make your son alive. She said, I can do it. She was in hurry. She said, I can do it, but tell me how much. He said, just a feast, like little bit grains. You just give me, but get this grain from a family where nobody have died yet. And she ran. She said, okay, I just get it. She ran. She go from the village one door to the another door, and she keep on moving. But anywhere she goes, people say, no, my uncle died, my father died, this died and that died. And when she keep on moving and moving, and she returned back, she came into the feet of Buddha and said that I understood it. This was a way of Buddha to make you understand the truth. Through when you understand the truth, miseries become less, or miseries become, they die. Miseries die. Like you can finish the misery. So there is a huge difference between compassion and empathy, and sympathy.
Yes.
So the sutra number 13 is talking about what is abhyasa. So tatra sthito yatno abhyasa. Tatra means out of these two. Out of these two refers to the previous sutra. Is talking about two things, abhyasa and vairagya. Sthito means to establish within.
Right.
Stithau, like coming into yourself, like
Yes.
looking at yourself. Stithau.
Yes.
Yatno means effort.
Yes.
Abhyasa means repeated practice. Means repeated practice is an effort to establish within.
Wow.
Doing a continuous effort. Yatno means continuous effort to establish within. To looking at yourself again and again and again. Means not looking at the object, the subject, which is going on in the external world, but
Yes.
rather looking at how your modifications of mind are functioning.
Right.
How they're bringing the vibrations in your body. That
Right.
is a practice of yoga, actual practice of yoga.
We have discussed the impact of words. So someone is speaking negatively to you, or someone is doing anything negative that is affecting you. Instead of analyzing that person's actions, you must analyze yourself and see how
Analyze
I'm
yourself,
reacting and why am I reacting.
Rather, I just need to look at it, like how, like not reaching to a conclusion through it, but to looking at it. In this looking, there is the whole yoga is all about looking. If you look at the modifications start melting.
Yes.
They start running towards zero.
Right.
Which we call meditation. The observing, I mean.
Yes.
If you start observing it. So the abhyasa, the practice, repeated practice means the continuous effort to establish within, means looking at yourself, looking at your modifications, your vibrations again and again. That is what abhyasa means.
Right.
14th sutra is also very beautiful because it tells what qualities should be in this practice.
Right.
What quality, like how to practice. So it is the 14th sutra is saying Satu DIRGHA-KALE NAIRANTARYA-SATKARASEVITO DRDHA-BHUMI. In simple words, Satu means and then. Satu DIRGHA-KALE NAIRANTARYA. DIRGHA-KALE means for a long time. Nairantarya means continue. DIRGHA-KALE NAIRANTARYA. Satkarasevito means with respect, with lot of respect to it, with lot of love with it.
Yes.
DRDHA-BHUMI, it will create a firm ground.
Wow.
If you have in your practice these things, means if you do your practice for a long time,
yes,
without interruption, means with continuity and with full of respect into the practice. Any practice, if you put these things, the continuity, the respect into it, and for a long time, means you have a lot of patience, like you,
yes,
with patience you're doing it.
Yes, absolutely.
With full patience.
Okay.
You are
Again,
not doing
what
hurry.
you say in modern practice systems, that just have that patience, keep doing it for 21 days, whatever it is, just keep at it. And once you keep at it and you put that effort, then it becomes a part of you. And then no longer you make an effort, it just becomes who you are, right? It's the same.
Quite right. Exactly the same. Exactly. But here we just limit it. When we say 21 days, it can be very limited.
Yeah.
If we just give any time, if I say time, it is limited. If I say long time, it is not limited, because I don't know how long.
Yes, you don't know how long.
I don't have.
Yes.
I don't know, because it depends. It varies person to person, and like this way of like looking at and to establish a firm ground, like to get a firm ground of practice,
yes,
varies person to person.